Hello everybody, it's time for the last day of the main block of the SEGAthon. We are playing some Crazy Taxi and I have Volk with me. So
Hey, it's time to donate some crazy money!
I was waiting for that. Now, I do recall seeing a bit of a prompt in the Discord just before we started to try and make this last about an hour. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through 3 rounds of arcade mode and 3 modes of original one on the 10-minute thing. And I'm going to alternate them just so you see the different levels, you know, a bit of variety as we go along. And let's go from there and try to make some crazy money.
Indeed, this is going to be Uber.
Of course, we did have the sound test beforehand, but if it's a bit loud or a bit quiet, let me know and I can adjust things on the fly as well.
It's got to be BG Joe to start off with. He was the rep in All Stars Racing after all.
Yeah, he's the one who I associate most with Crazy Taxi, because like, he's the main man, isn't he?
I don't know, I kind of like the guy who looks like he came fresh out of like the Italian mob with the Hawaiian shirt. He's alright too.
Axel, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So, main gameplay of Crazy Taxi is you pick people up, you take them to their destination with literally zero regard for the laws of the road. This is like one of the games I grew up playing back on the Dreamcast. I'm actually playing the GameCube version here because I couldn't get the Dreamcast one to run, unfortunately. At least not on stream. But it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, thankfully the GameCube version ended up coming out just in time before like the licenses and what have you expired, and now we're left with the later re-releases just not being as good because it doesn't have the Offspring or Bad Religion, and that's illegal as far as I'm concerned.
Well, to be fair, I have played through that version, and the replacement soundtrack is pretty good. Like, I enjoy those songs when I'm playing, but like, it's not as iconic as this particular installment of the soundtrack either.
Exactly, some might argue that those two bands collaborating together for this actually made the game. Otherwise, I think it would be kinda not as good somehow. It's one of those rare occasions where the music kind of makes the game so much that just changing the soundtrack just changes the general opinion of the game drastically.
Of course, if you play the PC version, you can still mod in the original soundtrack, except the problem there is that it sort of plays them out of order, because it's like just programmed in a different way as to when certain songs are prompted to play, so it's a little bit finicky, but like you still get your Offspring and your Bad Religion if that's your last result. The main difference...
Yeah, the only bad thing about that is that you don't start with yeah.
Yeah, and you also, in the PC one and the reissues and whatnot, is they don't have the licensed brands that you take people to. Like, I just took this guy to KFC. They've replaced that with a generic fried chicken shack in the remaster. And
I
same,
want chicken.
yeah, and same like the Pizza Hut, and I think there's Fila, the clothing company, and also Levi's.
Yeah, it's a bit weird how they kind of got those all in there. I'm not sure if they had to like properly pay a licensing thing or if they just wanted to make it seem more quote-unquote real.
Possibly. I think it was just tying up to the culture of like the feel they wanted to have with the game, I suppose.
Yeah. Alright, so we should probably go over the usual stuff we do in this here charity event just to explain who we are and what the hell we are doing here playing Crazy Taxi. And we are Hellfire Comms. Occasionally Tom is here, but for this moment he is not, but he should be here later on.
Yeah.
And we are currently raising money for Child's Play, which is a charity organization that specializes in worldwide distribution of toys and games for kids in hospital to make their stay just that little bit more tolerable. Because, as we all know, hospital sucks, but unfortunately the kids don't tend to realize that until it's too late.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut in hospital for days, sometimes for weeks on end with nothing to do. So if this charity can like provide the kids with like games to play and that to keep them company, then you know it really does help them out. So if you've got some money to spare, it's very much appreciated. And also, I should actually go the right way.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're taking the scenic route. That's what.
Yeah, although the downside with that is some of these customers are incredibly impatient, and if you take too long they will jump out mid-trip. Some of them will kick the side of your car as they get out. You know, they're not too happy about having to wait. And they also...
But they're fine with near-death experiences.
Yeah, they actually tip you for that. Like, if you do like loads of near misses and jumping over cars and stuff, they tip you as you go along. Like you see them numbers popping up on the screen now.
You know, I can just picture like all these people just being incredibly rich, and they just have wads of dollars on them, and just every time you go past a car, they're just sort of showering you with bills.
Yeah, this is back when you could get tipped for acting irresponsibly before Twitch was a thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Alright then, so seeing as this is the last day, this will be your last chance to get some of our lovely donation incentives, and also is your last day to get in on that Sonic Mania bid war, and also the Knights bid war that we have going. And just to clarify what that means, the Knights bid war involves a couple of the greatest hits of Gamer Richie. He will be singing Dream Dreams, the regular version, or Dream Dreams, the Sweet Snow version. Currently Sweet Snow is winning with $10, and regular version is behind with just $2. So you could easily influence that if you so desired, but for the game itself, there is also a bid war going on between the Sega Saturn version being played and the PS2 version of the game being played. Currently the Saturn version is sitting at $78, and the PS2 version is sitting at $31.
Oh, nice.
And finally, we have the Sonic Mania Plus bid war. We've already established that it's going to be an Knuckles mode, but we are currently trying to get a handle of who exactly we are taking in. Currently, Mighty is in the lead with $462.69. Then we have Sonic in second place with $440.69. Third is Tails with $317 on the nose. And Knuckles with $187.04, and Ray dead last with barely enough money for Cap there, which is $39 dues.
Yeah, we did actually get a few coming for Ray last night while Stefan was playing Jet Set Radio, which was surprising to me, but I'm also happy to see a little bit more love coming in for the underdog there.
Indeed, indeed. And as far as incentive games, you can still get in for if we reach our milestones. At $3,500, we will unlock Phantasy Star Online Blueburst, which will be played by myself, and Samurai Snake should be joining me for that as well. If we get to $4,000, we'll have Sonic World, played by Samurai Snake. For $500, we'll get you Alpha Protocol, and we have a dual unlock at the end of our goal of $5,000 with Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3. I would love to be able to get Phantasy Star Online Blueburst unlocked, but any little amount you can donate will help. And of course, can potentially go towards unlocking another incentive or two potentially. Alright, I think that's all the shilling done for the charity stream side of things, so now we can shill the likes of KFC and Fila.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, they're not sponsoring this, although if they would like to contribute too, it'd be appreciated.
We have a $3,000 donation from KFC. Yeah. Thank you for repping our brand.
I mean, like, even a donation of like a fucking bucket of chicken would be appreciated at this point, keep me going during Mania later.
We got a 12-piece super bucket coming in hot.
Yeah. Okay, so what character does that go towards?
I don't know. Who's the fried chicken aficionado? I don't know. Give it to Mighty. I mean, he's been at the bar all day. He probably has the munchies.
My god, yeah.
Alrighty, so we should probably explain some more about Crazy Taxi's actual mechanics. You don't have a gear shift. Well, you don't have a gear shifting system as such. You have drive and you have reverse. And there's some weird magicering you can do to get like handbrake turns, drifts, which will get you oodles of cash. And I believe there's like some weird things you can do, like shifting between drift and reverse to kind of give yourself a bit of a jump start, but I don't really know anything about that. That's best left to the pro arcade players and the speedrunners.
Yeah, I sort of wing it as I go along with Crazy Taxi, I always have done. So, yeah, if you see me repeatedly ramming into a wall, there is method to my madness, I swear.
Well, so you don't have to brake while taking the turn.
Yeah, that's
which is a legitimate strategy for games like this, which is not surprising.
Yeah.
So when you notice that you might get different colors when you go to pick up your would-be customers. The color directly correlates to, one, the amount of time you have to get your customer to his or her destination, and also the distance to their destination. So the red ones will be very close by, but you only have like several seconds to actually get them to their destination. Whereas the green ones are more like your cross-country trips.
Yeah. And also the colour theory is going with the time as well. If it's still in the green, when you get them there, you get a nice big time bonus, like they pay you a bigger tip for it. Whereas if it goes down to yellow, it's average, and if it goes down to red, then they start getting pissed with you.
And sometimes they will literally jump out the car while it is still going.
Yeah. Probably not the smartest idea, but given how I'm driving, it's probably just as unsafe to stay in.
True that. And obviously in oncoming traffic as well, I can name several reasons why it's a bad idea.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Slow. And backhands your car in the process. 100 meters, you can literally walk there, dude.
Yeah, like, Jesus. That's the case for a lot of these customers, especially when they're in the red. Like, just fucking walk, you lazy bastard.
It's like there are Olympians that can do that shit in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't have to be an Olympian to get there in like 20, 30, maybe like a minute tops if you're taking a brisk walk.
Yeah. Fucking out of the way, will I make it? I don't think I'm gonna make this one.
It's gonna be close, but it depends,
Time up.
It's a shame. But then again, you got over 5k, so that's alright. So that's how original mode works. You have a set amount of time to get as many customers as humanly possible. In arcade, it is possible for you to go way longer.
Well, it's the arcade and original are mainly revolving around the track, like the arenas. That's what changes between that. But like whether you decide to play for 10 minutes or whether you decide to play for a set time, that's like your time mechanic. If you play by arcade rules like that thing there, then that's what you're getting out of, you know, as you keep on going, you unlock more time to work with.
You have 10 minutes.
I'm not going to be going through the gimmick stuff for Tanner. I'm just going to be playing through arcade and original just to show that off, because I've never actually been any good at all at the mini games that they have.
Yeah, it's sort of like a weird... It's kind of like the licenses in Gran Turismo, but not quite as crazy. So you gotta get like certain distances with jumps, perform a certain length of drift, things like that.
Yeah.
But they are useful tools to learn if you want to get really high scores in the arcade mode and what have you. Yeah, this is the guy I was talking about earlier, Gus. He's alright.
Oh yeah, him.
It's under control.
So when was your first experience with Crazy Taxi?
I believe it would have been around 2000 when I first got my... Actually, it would have been a little bit before that. I remember playing this on my brother's Dreamcast before I got my own one. That would have been like very late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember exactly when this came out on the Dreamcast, but that was about the time that I first played it.
Yeah. I remember my aunt or uncle having a Dreamcast that they occasionally bring around to my grandparents' place.
Oh, right.
And I was staying over there overnight at one point, and the Dreamcast was set up, and it had Crazy Taxi, and I think it had like that South Park quiz game called Chef's Love Shack, I think it was.
Oh, right.
They had that there as well for some reason, but I didn't touch that one. Well, I was kind of getting into South Park around that kind of time, but you know, I was still, what, maybe 10, 11 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a bit older than that.
Yeah, well, I would have been like 5 or 6. Yeah. I just about made that one. I kind of got a bit lost on the way up there.
Hey, maybe you should learn to play.
Good point.
I shouldn't really talk. Obviously, I was originally meant to be running this game, but because of all the stuff with this job hunting that I was doing, I didn't really have time to take on too many games. So Flame offered to take Crazy Taxi off my hands.
Yeah.
That way, I could just focus on co-commentating, because I do rather like this game. It is a fun time.
It really is, yeah. It's just pure chaos a lot of the time, and that in itself is really fucking fun.
There's a lot to be said about arcade races that it seems to be something that Sega pretty much had on tap, and it was all top quality stuff. Apart from the fact you also had Daytona USA and Sega Rally, you also get some of the ones like Formula Racing or Virtual Racing or whatever the hell it was called. And you also have Outrun. They just had a load of really, really solid arcade racing games. And I can't really name a single one that I have played offhand that I have actively hated. Why didn't you touch Shep's nutsack? It's Love Shack.
You what?
You had to play games like Spank the Four-Butt Monkey and what have you. Or the Four-Assed Monkey, I suppose, would be more accurate. It was really, really weird. It was a bit like, it's just literally a quiz show and they just fill it with like South Park themed mini games. And obvious references to like early season 2 and 3, I guess it would be around that time.
Yeah,
So the sort of time where we just got introduced to Mr. Hanky and whatnot.
no, I will say I've never really cared for South Park. Like, it just ain't my sense of humour, really. But,
I will say that the older stuff is definitely some of their strongest. I will take to the grave that season 10 was perhaps the finest overall South Park has ever been. I don't recall a single bad episode in season 10 at all. And it was also the same season that had Make Love Not Warcraft, which was just legendary in terms of how highly it's regarded and just how popular it was. Yes, now my playlist has finally gotten to All I Want after about 6 or 7 songs. So now we're really at Crazy Taxi with the playlist.
well, you said that just as it kicked in on my end as well.
Oh, nice! We are somewhat in sync now.
Yeah, that's gonna fall apart next time I get like fucking 10 in 2010 or something, come on.
True that, true that. You know, they're next to a used car place and there's loads and loads of people waiting to get a cab back. Number one, aren't they there to buy a car so they don't have to get a taxi? And two, if they're that impatient, why don't they just take one of the used cars and just steal the fucking thing?
That's a little bit illegal, I say, while I drive across the middle of a fucking field.
Exactly. I mean, if you're not going to play by the rules, I mean, that should apply everywhere, right?
Yeah. Like, there is no law anymore, which fittingly has solved all crime problems.
Indeed.
Okay.
And all people want is Pizza Hut. They just want to be taken to Pizza Hut. And we will literally go on the train tracks to make that happen.
Yeah, I thought this was a shortcut, but apparently it's not. So, fuck it. Unless it is,
I'm
I've
partly hoping this person will get out of the car halfway and go, all you had to do was follow the train, CJ!
Yeah. Okay, maybe it was a shortcut, huh?
Oh yes, 10 Elements raises a good point actually. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to get round to it sooner, but I was kind of on a tangent and I didn't want to interrupt myself. The new F-Zero medley for Smash Ultimate, have you heard it yet, Flame, by any chance?
I haven't heard it yet. No, I know it's a thing, which is cool.
It is a Sega remix of F-Zero, and it has vocals by the same guy who did the tunes for Daytona USA.
Oh, nice.
It is really, really good. You only get to hear a few seconds of it, though, which is the only problem. But what we get is a nice snippet of potentially what's to come. But I am really surprised just how much Sega is getting involved in the Smash Ultimate soundtrack, really.
Yeah.
Whether it's through their musical stuff or whether it's just the Sega representation in general, one way or another.
Yeah, when you say the guy who did the Daytona vocals, do you mean the guy from Mr. Big who did the one on Snowy's Works album? Are we talking about someone else?
No, when the guy who did the arcade soundtrack specifically for the first game, and I guess also the second game.
Ah, okay. Because I know there were some songs from one of the Daytona games that he did the vocals on with, I think, Snowy on the guitar, and it was fucking great.
Ah, that might make sense. But yeah, I believe it's not that guy though, unless it is the same guy and I'm just misremembering things here.
Yeah.
Are we leaving today?
Alrighty, let's see if we have any donations or the like. Just make sure I keep on top of that. Nope, we are safe for now, so we will carry on being crazy taxi drivers.
I keep losing track of where I'm meant to go. That's one thing I will say with the original area rather than the arcade one, is that it's easier to get lost here because the arrow isn't that reliable in this track on this area.
Yeah, you don't really get a map as such. You get an arrow that gives you a vague idea of where to go, and sometimes that can take you in the right place, but it doesn't explicitly point out really good shortcuts and things like that. So that's kind of up to you to, one, remember, and two, find to begin with. But that's something that just comes with playing the game enough more than anything.
Dude, I was like a couple of inches away from where you wanted to go. You could have held on.
Yeah, like, literally the big green box is right there, come on.
Yeah.
Take me to the nondescript Japanese restaurant.
Yeah.
Although, I'd wager if they were still allowing the licensed stuff, I'd wager every place would be licensed. So, probably the Japanese restaurant would be like a Yo Sushi or something.
Yeah, well, we are playing the original one and there's nothing here, so... don't know. There have always been a few generic things.
It's like, what the fuck? You let me up right in this banister. Now I'm stuck here forever.
Yeah.
Okay, thank me later.
Grand Mercury Hotel. I'm guessing that's probably something in real life as well, possibly. But
Yeah. Do you wanna
I don't
pick it
know.
up?
Maybe they found some creativity and didn't think, hey, what's like a popular hotel?
I suppose you could always look it up, see whether it's a place or not.
Okay, let me have a look here. Grand Mercury Hotel. There is a Grand Mercure Hotel in Bristol.
Not quite the same.
No, not quite. It's one letter off, so unfortunately it doesn't count.
What am I, Superman?
Yeah, imagine if the Daytona singer was on Team Sonic Racing. That would be kind of neat. Imagine him doing Supersonic Racing for a moment.
Oh god. Yeah. Although saying that, I'm quite happy to have Crush 40 on for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that Green Light
always
Go
need
song
more
is great.
I like the stuff they did for the Sonic Riders series, especially.
Well, Crush 40 covered a few of the Riders. Well, they covered Under a Bit of Fire and they covered Trey. They didn't have any songs in the actual game itself, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although their contributions, regardless, were very good. I do like their version of 3 way more.
Yeah, same.
Are we leaving today?
You nearly killed me. Can you take me to the hotel?
Yeah, Tanner is correct. The GameCube run in Dolphins, so can make games look astonishingly good. So if you want to take it a step further and have all the really good Crazy Taxi music as well as really nice looking graphics, get yourself a Dolphin emulator if your computer can handle it.
Yeah. Whereas I'm sticking with Old Faithful, my completely homebrewed the fuck apart second-hand Wii console I bought a few years ago.
It's a 1 in a million Freakenstein GameCube.
Yeah.
Are we leaving today?
I'm not gonna make this guy, I can just sense it.
Better hurry home.
Yeah, 41 seconds, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
unless we glitch the game and like activate no clip or something.
Yeah, Zawaldo.
Like, we've broken the law, now we're breaking the laws of physics.
I don't think it does, Paracat. I have that version, I don't remember these songs playing in it.
Game over.
F-Zero GX was published by Sega. Why isn't that in here? Mostly because we think that when you think about Sega races, you think more like your Daytona USAs, your Outruns, and your Super Hang-Ons, perhaps. And out of the 3, I thought Daytona would be a better fit. So that's the one I went with. And then obviously we have the arcade racer in Crazy Taxi. If I had more choice in the meta, maybe I would have probably pushed for Super Hang-On as well, but I felt like maybe we had enough car games in there. And there's only really so much you can do with them to begin with. But that being said, I'm kind of tempted to stream Super Hang-On at some point.
So what Volk is saying is he didn't think of picking F-Zero GX.
Oh, no, it did come across my mind. It's just that,
Okay.
well, I don't actually own the game, so I
Oh,
can't...
right, yeah. I think it's
That
quite...
and it's balls to the walls hard.
Yeah, I think it's quite expensive to get hold of these days as well.
Oh yeah, let me just have a quick look a second.
Yeah.
F-Zero GX. You can get reproductions for relatively cheap, but if you want a official copy, you're going to need to pay about the price of a new game recently. So somewhere along the lines of 35 to 40 quid in some places.
Which is why Nintendo need to get their shit together and start making the GameCube games downloadable on the Switch, but they're not going to do that because they're Nintendo.
Alright, we do actually have a $1 donation.
Come on now.
It's Leaf Juice with a very tiny donation. I haven't gotten paid yet, so I'm donating tiny bits and bobs. But I'd like to put this towards Ray in Sonic Mania. Oh, you brave, brave man.
Nice one.
Alright then, so that puts Ray at $40 now. So at least we take it to a nice round number. And we'll change that to 145.
And one thing we've realised from these bid boards, particularly this Mania one, is that fucking anything can happen. Like, we had no idea Tails would get as high, and then my mate even showed up and put fucking 200 towards him, and, you know, anything could randomly bulk up at any given moment, so, like, donate to anyone you feel like, I'd say.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, even if it seems hopeless, you never know. You might have someone like Crazy Even come along and just say, here's a briefcase full of cash for Ray, and before you know it, he's in the lead.
There's a GBA version of Crazy Taxi? I didn't know that.
Oh, I have to see this, hold on. GBA Crazy Taxi. I don't know how well that would actually go. Hold on a second. Actually, it... no, never mind. It looks kind of bad.
Well, I may have to play that out of curiosity at some point.
It looks like a prototype, like, PS 0.5 game. I'm not sure what frame rate it runs at. I'm literally just looking at images for the moment, but... I don't know, maybe it's better in motion, but still, apparently it exists. So if you want a handheld Crazy Taxi, there you go.
Yeah, although, actually, does anyone know how good the PSP one was? I think there was a PSP one.
I think that was... Hold on, let me have a look here. PSP Crazy Taxi. Yes, there is a Crazy Taxi Fair Wars that exists. And it does look like the original version of the game, although it does have new locations by the looks of it as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks very much like the original version of Crazy Taxi, but it looks like they've added some new locations and whatnot.
Probably a little bit sharper in the graphics department as well, I would imagine, being on PSP.
I don't know, it does a little bit, although it doesn't look as smooth, but that just might be because of the resolution of the screenshots I'm looking at.
Yeah, plus PSP, its downfall, and like pretty much any handheld really, is the anti-aliasing tends to be a little bit off, but hey, you gotta make some sacrifices when you port into a tiny little system.
Yeah, although the PSP is an incredible little handheld device. I mean, I'm not sure if many people think much of the feature, but the fact you can get like a PSP and you can put like all your PS1 games and what have you on there, having portable Final Fantasy VII was... It just blew my mind. I had no idea this was a thing, and then I realized I could do the same thing for Final Fantasy VIII as well, and I damn near peed my pants with excitement.
And more importantly, you can play Sonic Rivals on there.
I suppose you could if you have no phone.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been memeing about it for fucking years, but I do have a legitimate soft spot for Rivals. It's fun enough for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a soft spot for something that isn't particularly great. I mean, I have a very soft spot for Jig-Kun 2 that is equivalent to Quicksand in its softness. It is. I feel like it is an amazing game, yet I know full well it is very, very average at best.
Yeah, see, the thing that endears me towards Rivals is it is the epitome of average. It's like a dead in the middle, naught on your timeline, fucking the most generic average Sonic game you could possibly have. And that tickles me for some reason, I love it.
Can you just imagine if there was an award ceremony for the most air title? Just like the most decisively average thing.
Yeah, you get like a little trophy that's just like a thumbs to the side.
No, it would be an outstretched palm, and it would sort of wobble side to side, and just to go, eh. That's what it would be. It would literally be a bobble hand.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I guess we can go back onto the soundtrack a little bit. Was Offspring or It's Like something you would listen to just out the blue, or was it only something that kind of came synonymous with this game?
it actually, like, that kind of music, it's okay to me. Like, I do like a few Offspring songs, and there's a few things that are similar to it that are up my alley. To me, I actually didn't associate it with this game until a little bit later, and this is something that some people might see as cruelty given just how great this soundtrack is. But when I was growing up, my Dreamcast was on a smaller TV in the living room, and so quite often when I was playing, I wouldn't be able to have sound on because my parents would be watching TV on the big TV, and so that was kind of suffering at times. But you know, it wasn't until I started replaying this a lot when I got older that I'm like, yeah, this music's pretty fucking great.
And you have to remember that this was sort of around the time where you didn't really have headphones for televisions. Like, a lot of televisions didn't have headphone jacks, and neither did a lot of consoles. And even then, it didn't take long for them to end up just being inbuilt into joypads in the end.
Well, I think on top of that, also the old TV I was using at the time, it was knackered. Like, seriously, it ended up dying with smoke coming out of it. So you can kind of imagine the sort of state it was in. It was really old when I had it, and that was like, I was, you know, back in the fucking 90s, late 90s, early 2010.
It's the sort of thing that you'd happen upon at your local charity shop while your parents or your grandparents were looking around, and you just find this old ass CRT TV for like a $5.
Yeah.
And you think, I could actually afford that, and it's like, hey, we can get a TV, just like, look, I told you, it's too expensive, but this one right here for a $5 and it all works.
Yeah.
And at that point, they can't refuse, because, you know, they give you pocket money, you can do whatever you want with that shit. So it's just like, I want a TV, and it's just like, okay, and you just have a TV in your room with a little VHS thing built into it.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I think it was the main TV for a while, and then me folks got a better one, which, imagine a good TV by, like, early 2000 standards, so yeah. It was still like, you know, 23 inch, not that great picture quality or anything, but it was better than this little than I had.
Oh yes, quite possibly better or the next best thing to the charity shop purchase.
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends how much your hand-me-down provider ends up upgrading and just how balls to the walls they go with their upgrade. If you have someone who's very, very timid, it's not quite as great, but if you have someone who, like, insists on, like, the best model phone and, like, every couple of years they get a new one, it's great.
Yeah, see, I'm the kind of person, if I have something, like technology-wise, I will cling on to it for dear life. Like, I know there's that kind of thing about iPhone owners, they want a new one every year. Like, I have my iPhone from, I think, 2013, and the on-off switch is broken, but otherwise it works, so fuck it, I ain't replacing it.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even use a smartphone until, like, 2 or 3 years ago. I had
didn't-
like this old flip-over Nokia for such a long time because I didn't feel the need to get a smartphone because it's just like, it can play music. Yeah, well, I have an MP3 player for that. And, ooh, you can play games on it. But I have a Nintendo DS and a PSP. Why would I need to do that?
Yeah,
And
why
it's
would
like, hey, you could do all sorts of other stuff with it. But yeah, I need a phone to be a phone.
Yeah. By the way, I think Tom's saying you need to speak up a little bit. Just
Okay,
'cause you
I'll
get-
put the microphone a bit closer to me. Hopefully that'll do the trick.
That sounds a little bit better to me. But yeah,
It may just be I knocked the arm ever so slightly back earlier.
yeah, it happens, I know. But like, yeah, because I was given the phone I have now when I first started going off to college, if I recall, and so like I had that then, and it was new, but that was replacing a Motorola Razr that I'd had for 6 or 7 years. Okay. Folk needs to go up in volume as well. I'll turn him up at the end of this round.
Yeah, we've only got a minute left, so just give it a mo and we'll be able to get that rectified ASAP.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now that I have a smartphone, it's great because I don't know what I'd do without it now, because it now means I can just take it all in one. And also it just means I can go on YouTube and browse the internet and what have you whilst I'm on the bus ride to work, which is something I couldn't do on anything I owned prior.
It means I can shitpost on Twitter both when I'm in bed and when I'm out, so it helps me keep up to date with my schedule.
Indeed, although Tom's a bit of a MacGyver in that regard, because I believe he still uses his Nintendo DS for Twitter.
The old 3DS, yeah. That thing, you know, Tom says he's going to bed, and like an hour later, he's talking about fucking Steven Universe or something.
That is exactly right.
Nearly killed
We know our pal Tom very well.
Take me to the bus terminal.
Alright, I don't have time to get you to your stop. I'm just kind of gonna abduct you and just drive off somewhere.
Alright, let's turn you up a little bit.
Check out how you did today. Now let's take a look.
Righty-ho.
Okay, that should be a little bit better.
Game over.
Okay, so we're about halfway through what we're doing with this run, so let's go back to the original mode now. And get myself lost again.
That's fine, we can see how long you can last.
Well, it's more like we're doing so many rounds just to, you know, get people some good coverage of both the main courses here. And see if I can end up going different places, because I end up finding a lot of the time I find different segments of the areas each time, and I sort of get stuck in a little box, sort of.
Yeah, you get those odd moments where you just get yourself stuck, like, in between a couple of pieces of terrain, and it's ridiculously difficult to get yourself out of there.
Well, it's more like you're noticing you're low on time, so you start picking up the ones with the shorter area, like shorter requests, and you end up going back through the same little section.
Yeah, you get those ones that are very, very short distance, but then doesn't count for the fact you need to do a U-turn. So it's like, I can't do it! And then you learn how to do a U-turn properly, and suddenly it becomes a little bit more possible.
No, we didn't do Crazy Taxi last time.
No, yeah, because that would have been the Sony font. So yeah, Crazy Taxi would have been on that.
Yeah,
No,
unless we did something similar.
Okay.
there's a possibility, but I couldn't. We did Gran Turismo. That's like the only racing game that I recall doing.
That way, right?
Yeah, I remember you did that, and you said the initial day Eurobeat playing for the whole thing.
Oh, that was a ripping good time. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that immensely.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you're worried about like the Offspring and Bad Religion getting us in trouble. Although it's a bit weird because Eurobeat, for the most part, seems to get around YouTube and Twitch quite easily. Maybe less so YouTube than Twitch. Because I know Maximilian, who's a prominent YouTuber that I follow, he often has like Eurobeat stuff going in the background. And when I go back to watch the VODs, like very rarely will it be muted when I know there's been Eurobeat playing.
Usually the Eurobeat stuff gets ID'd, but it doesn't mute it, so it's fair game really.
Yeah, because sometimes they're just remixes of something anyway, and if they're gonna like start claiming for that, then you know they're gonna have to get the original person who did the original song claiming them back, and that's just too much of a headache to be worth it.
Yeah, see, the funny thing for that is, I remember when I uploaded my long play of Super Mario Land, it got an ID on it by, you know, that fucking rap group who did the Super Mario Land rap song, rather than from like Nintendo claiming theirs.
Oh wow.
I forget who it was, but that just really fucking amused me when I saw it come up.
It wasn't Dwayne and Brando, was it?
No, like it was an official thing, but
Oh right, okay. Because when I think like rap and Nintendo and what have you, I usually go to Dwayne and Brando first, because that's just the one I'm most familiar with.
yeah. Although for that, the thing I associate most with Dwayne and Brando is that Mega Man 2 one.
Oh yeah, that is a top quality tune. But then again, the Sonic 2 one's pretty decent too.
I remember the main Sonic one. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, someone put a tree in my way.
Well, I'm sorry, but the city wanted to put greenery here, and that was the only place they could put it.
They could have put it not on the path where I'm going to be driving.
Well, they should probably just make them out of cardboard and put them on wheels so that they can conveniently wheel them away from you if you're charging in towards it.
Yeah, like have propelling magnets or some shit.
I don't think trees are magnetic, and if I believe we started genetically modifying trees to be magnetic, that will cause more problems than solve.
Don't like to try.
I seem to remember a trick as well with Crazy Taxi that I used to do, where I would deliberately drive somewhat slowly next to like a really big lorry or a truck, and if I stayed just next to it and kept driving, I'd keep accumulating money.
Oh, nice.
So that was like my go-to strategy before I eventually learned how to drift, and then I just tried to drift everywhere, which was met with varying degrees of success, but when it was successful, it made money and then some.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Then obviously it becomes a case of knowing where all the jumps are as well, so you can get all the crazy jumps, and they get you a lot of cash too, if I remember.
Better hang on.
Oh, these selfish bastards making me turn around when I pick them up. Couldn't they go somewhere else?
Or run slightly further towards you.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got the people going through their favourite Eurobeat songs as well. We got Deja Vu, we've got Gas Gas Gas, Space Boy. Space Boy is a very popular one. That tends to be the one that's usually at the very beginning of a lot of those multi-hour long Eurobeat mega mixes.
Yeah, I've got to say the top Master Race.
Alright, what Offspring song am I on at the moment? Because I don't remember this one.
Alright.
Have you ever? No, I've never heard this one.
Same.
It's like, have you ever? No.
No, I have not.
Okay, we're gonna fly.
Let's see, my favorite Eurobeat song... I am... That's a very good question, actually. I'm not sure which one I am most partial to. Hold on, I have like the beginnings of a Eurobeat playlist. Let me just consult this. This will probably tell
See
me.
ya. Have a good day.
When the Sun Goes Down is a very good
Not
one.
bad.
Crazy on Emotion,
How big?
also very good, and Heartbeat. I'd say those are maybe my top 3 at the moment, although it tends to change. Like, I'll listen to a song and then I'll tend to grow even more fond or less fond of it.
Nope.
So it can alternate ever so slightly. So a song I
Not
didn't
bad.
care for much, like last month, next
in
month I could
already.
go
No,
listen to it and
thanks.
think, you know what, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah, like, that happens sometimes, and I think Deimos is trying to trigger you in the chat right now.
I'm not clicking those links.
No, no,
Oh no, stop hurting these.
no.
Bring up your pigeons.
So it's like K-pop but bad.
Well, it is. I mean, I fully acknowledge that it's just like cheesy as fuck music, but it's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like disco music in anywhere other than a disco.
No, I don't think anything's anywhere near as bad as disco. Okay, I don't think I was meant to go down there. Oh well, let's just lose this person here.
You got a few points and now you're in the subway. Look at me, Ma, I'm a train! I don't think Crazy Tram has quite the same ring to it.
No, not really. Okay, yeah, this person's not making it there on time.
Can you just imagine just like the intro to that? Hey, hey, go at a brisk casual pacing Crazy Tram!
Oh my god. This will work eventually.
But you ain't gonna be there for it. Later, bitch!
Yo, thanks.
And it warps into another dimension where there are faster taxi drivers, most likely.
Okay, better hang on.
No, it's the universe of the law-abiding taxi drivers, so it's a lot more boring.
Yeah, that is true. Apparently Deimos forgot. Am I getting Spider-Man in September? Probably not. But only because I think most of my free time in September is going to be completely drained by playing 2 Point Hospital. I think that's probably the only reason. Otherwise, I'll probably grab it when it goes a bit cheaper in price, perhaps, if it's any good.
Get in already.
I might play it next generation when they actually make a version that runs at a decent frame rate.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll fix it in time for the release, but
They've confirmed that it's 30, which is, like, you know, once
unacceptable in this day and age.
It
honestly.
is, yeah. Like,
I mean, in a stage where graphical fidelity can only go up so much higher, really the best thing to do is to make sure your game runs smoothly, and not having 60 frames is just...
yeah, see,
I mean, even when you're using the excuse for, oh, it's meant to be cinematic, just like, no, I'm not here to watch a video game, I'm here to play a video game.
yeah. And the thing that annoys me as well is that now they've got, like, that PS4 Pro console as well, and yet it's still not 1080-60 for everything. Like, you would think if they're doing an enhanced version of the system, it would be so you can get good performance. But no, it's like, some games are upgraded to 60. Like, I know the Shadow of the Colossus remake runs at 60 on the Pro, but there's other stuff that still is locked to 30, even though they've got all this extra power they can use.
The thing is, with the Pro consoles especially, this is pretty much consoles trying 4K for the first time, so... it's not going to be absolutely perfect, and they're not going to pack the amount of power needed to do 4K 60 frames per second consistently. It's just one of those bridging the gap steps, and I'm pretty confident whatever the next generation of console will actually be, they'll probably master it. Think of it this way. The PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X is probably a prototype of whatever the next generation console is going to be.
But looking at the trends of how things are working, I imagine it will be more a case of they're just going to carry on pushing like graphics over frame rate. Because the thing is, normies don't know any better, and so they don't have to try with frame rate when they're selling consoles.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I think people are trying to be a bit more discerning nowadays, although there are still plenty of people that fall into that trap, and that what ultimately gets them most of their money. Alright, so Tanner asks a question. Why are taxi drivers over where you live just the worst? I nearly died in London.
Basically, they want to get where they are as fast as possible. Whereas, like nowadays, I know a lot of the cabbies are being put out of work by that Uber thing, which is like an ongoing controversy, and like I hear about it a lot because one of the people that I work with in my volunteering gig, like her husband is a taxi driver, and so I hear a lot about how Uber have been causing problems all the time.
Ah, right, I see. I mean, the black cab drivers, they're not usually too bad, at least from my very limited experience.
Yeah, the black cab drivers tend to be alright. It's when you get the ones off apps and shit that they tend to be a little bit more hit and miss.
Yeah, well, you're taking that risk, so if it doesn't turn out alright, well, you don't really have anyone to blame but yourself, really. Well,
yeah,
to an extent.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, you can't always account for your driver being a complete bastard, man.
Yes, license.
Game over.
What do we got? A Class S license!
Oh my god, Santa. Place folk, they're the African American cab drivers. Oh my god.
Tanner, I hate you. I hate you in the loving sense, just so I'm clear about that.
But I think the correct term now is they're the drivers of colour. Isn't that the one that you're meant to use?
I don't know, because I feel like no matter what I say at this point, I'm going to get into trouble one way or another.
Yeah, you racist fuck.
Hey, I know what I meant, and I'm pretty sure 99% of people also know what I meant. Everyone else is just fake outrage.
Well, yeah, but we have the clip of you saying it, and that's enough. Although, to be fair, I do also have that clip of Tom reading that Mein Kampf thing, which is probably far more damning.
Yes, I would absolutely agree.
So yeah, we've got 2 more rounds in this run, and then it'll be Tanner time.
Radio.
Let's go over the other side and pick up some different people this round. I can't fucking sing, I apologise.
Go that way. All right. Oh no! What are you doing?
It's fine, my insurance will cover this.
Just checking to see if we got any more donations as well. Sorry about that.
Wait, black things are cheat code? I had never heard about that. If someone can, like, tell me what to do, I guess I could try it.
Let me have a look into this for you. Hold on.
Make sure you're looking for the GameCube one in case it's different between versions.
Yeah, let me just go Game FAQs, GameCube.
Watch it, honey. You better be more careful.
Let's see if this is a thing that exists. Camera reset, demo cam, different camera view, first person, play in another day mode, play in expert, play with no arrow indicators, unlock the pedal bike.
Alright.
Okay, you can do any variations for the trick to work. Highlight a driver at the choose your character screen and press L and R, L and R, L and R, and hold L, R, and up, and choose your driver.
Right, if you place that in chat when I get to it, it will make it a bit easier for reference.
Yeah, we'll do. I will make sure that is pasted for you when we are closer to the end of this run, and then we can try it with the bike.
Yeah.
It's more as a pedal bike as well. It's not like one of those motorcycles with like a side carriage or whatever. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shane must have posted it as well, just to confirm that what I said was correct.
Yeah, if you repost it when I prompt you, and then we can try it.
Yep. I'll just make sure I copy that a second. And I've got that on my clipboard, and then I can just paste it in closer to the time.
This is perfectly legal, Jolteon.
Are we leaving today?
Like, anything's legal if you don't get caught.
Yeah, I don't see any police here. In
Yeah.
fact, we have to take people to the police station, so it more makes me wonder what the police are actually doing. It's like these damn taxi drivers are doing a better job than us. You know what? If you break the law, just turn yourself into a taxi driver and have them take you to the police station.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're getting into a conversation about buses in the chat. You know, for a game that's also as crazy taxi, like actually talking about just taxis and public transportation in general is a bit drab. But
Yeah, it's fine.
it's the sort of thing like old women like talk about over a cup of tea and like thing of cakes on one of those weird tower things.
Well, you say that, but as someone who relied on buses to get to college back when I was in that, and having fucking every day something be delayed or something break down or whatever, you know, you get in a habit of bitching about public transport.
Yeah, I mean, I have to take the bus as well, but I don't talk about it day to day.
Yeah, well,
I acknowledge that the bus service is more often than not crap, and I acknowledge that if there is a delay, they don't fucking tell you.
yeah, and like, you try and call up the company and they're like, well, I didn't know anything about that. Or,
Not our problem.
yeah. Or like the most annoying one, which is when the bus is already late and then you see it arrive at the station, and rather than just get the fuck on with it, the guy gets out of the bus and just loiters around, gets himself a tea, you know, like that. And it's like, mate, when you're late, you don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
If you're on time, people are understanding if you need to go have a drink or whatever. Whereas if you're already late, we're frustrated already. Like, don't push your luck.
I think it's more a point that if they get to a stop early, they have to stop for a while just to make sure that they don't hit the stops too early, because being too early is way worse than being late.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you're early, you will not hear the end of it. But if you're late anyway, sometimes it's a little bit of a toss-up though, because I have heard from some circles that if after a certain amount of time being late, like to the point where the next bus would be coming in pretty soon anyway, sometimes they just get you to stick around anyway, and then they just sort of carry on from there.
Yeah, but when the buses are like once an hour, they ain't really got an excuse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well, just the sheer infrequency as well from time to time, when it is obviously a service that would benefit from occurring twice as frequently.
Yeah, and it's especially like prevalent given I'm not anywhere near London, so I'm reliant on private buses rather than like the proper red London ones. So they don't have any kind of standardisation or anything. You just got.
So you don't have anything like Stagecoach or anything like that?
No, we have like private companies, so mostly no one knows who the fuck they are.
What, you mean like a Filers or something like that?
Well, just like they're, you know, they're not the proper recognised London buses.
Ah, okay, so they're like pretenders to the throne almost.
Well, yeah, it's more that the proper London ones don't cover anywhere that's too far out. So, like, if you're outside of their coverage zone, it's like a Wild West of bus services.
Yeah, but I mean with London it's kind of twofold, because not only do they have a fairly frequently running bus service, but they also have the underground as well, so if it is a bit too close, you're just usually better off going underground anyway.
Yeah.
I get to look forward to doing that entire song and dance again when I go to MCM in October.
Fun times.
Oh yes, it will be very fun times.
Yeah, let's get this guy instead.
Come on, get in. Good job. Just drive. You're gonna love this. Go straight. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, TwitchCon, I'm not sure if that would be something I'd specifically go to America for. I'd want to do something proper, like either the New York or the San Diego Comic Con, or maybe Dragon Con even potentially. Like TwitchCon, not really.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we were like super duper popular on Twitch, then maybe, because obviously we'd be able to attend there as attendees as opposed to, you know, just visiting.
But sadly, we are irrelevant.
Well, it's more that we're a small, humble group that doesn't really have any limelight to speak of. Although, you never know what can happen like 3 years down the line.
It's fine,
Like,
you
as
can't
much
just
as we
say you're
have,
irrelevant.
Well, you know, maybe it's just a lull. I mean, we used to get, well, way back in the day when HFC was getting like hundreds and thousands of viewers on average. You never know, you could end up getting to that point again.
Keep dreaming.
I will dream, because it's the dreamers that get places in life, I'll have you know. Or at least that's what I hear people say. I think that's like one of the first generic motivational speaker speeches that people tend to give.
Yeah. Like, keep dreaming your unrealistic dream. That's fine, like, you're the optimist, I've got to balance you out as the cynic.
Yes, step 2 in that is achieve the unachievable. You know, that'll keep you occupied for the rest of your life.
Then step 3 is burn out and cry.
Oh no, you'd be dead by then, so you don't even have time to do that.
Eh.
Yeah, the music does cycle very fast in this game. I believe it doesn't play the full song a lot of times. It like fades out after 2 minutes, I think it is, or like a minute and a half,
Something
maybe?
like that, yeah.
Yo, 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 we gotta move.
I suppose that's partly how they managed to get around some of the licensing on some of these songs, I imagine. Maybe they just said, we can do it for cheaper, but you can only play like a certain amount of the song.
I think as much as anything, it's just to kind of keep it going. Because, like, bear in mind you're playing this in most likely 5-10 minute sessions, so I want to get a bit of a variety of songs playing.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, in the arcade, chances are you're not going to last like 10 whole minutes.
Yeah. Demos, HFC is partnered on Twitch by virtue of getting partnered back in the day when there was basically fucking no one on Twitch. Like, nowadays it'd never like qualify for partners. Like, I've looked at our stats, but yeah.
Yeah, I recall the requirements being like at least 5 times more harsh than what it was when we got partnered initially.
Yeah, because like I don't really like the affiliate system that they got, because like what it is it's revolving around like, you know, the bits and stuff like that, which I don't know, like I feel more comfortable just running ads and shit.
But yeah, HFC and MCM, I mean, obviously I attend MCM at least once a year, so obviously I'll be going in October, so hey, if you spot me, feel free to say hi. I mean, whether or not you'll remember that in a few months' time, I don't know, but I'll just say it here now, just in case anyone's like, in their notebook, note to self, if you see Volk, harass him.
Yeah. Whereas I don't really go outside that much, so that's probably a no from me.
Yeah, the con life ain't for everyone, like, especially if you have a dislike for crowds, you would get absolutely mullered in a place like that.
Yeah, I kind of found that out a couple of
Put it
years ago.
this way, if you have anxiety around crowds, the best time usually to go is a Friday, because it's not nearly as crowded usually. Saturday, just don't.
Yeah, that's like the
If
big
you have
day.
any kind of uncertainty towards crowds, just don't. Stay well away.
Yeah. Okay, Volk, if you could hook me up with that code. Oh, you've done it. Nice one. So,
Yep.
LNR together, I'll take that is.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
just do LNR, 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 then LNR up and choose your driver.
Okay, so.
You have 10 crazy minutes.
Oh, did I pick someone by mistake there?
Well, that's alright. If you need to give
Yeah.
it a few attempts, I'm sure you can do.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so LNR, 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 LR and up. Let's choose a driver. Let's see whether that did it.
We can have some fun.
No, I'm in a cab. Let's
Damn
try
it.
that again.
If you try it again, I'll look up some other versions as well, just in case.
LNR's alternate, let's try that then.
You have 10 crazy minutes. Go ahead and pick a car and driver.
LR, 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 up. Driver.
Yeah. We can have some fun.
No, that's the cab.
Are you doing... Try L and R alternating.
That's
like
what I
a
did for the last one.
Oh, is that what you did last time? So have you tried alternating and have you tried both together?
I've tried both, but let's go. Okay, now it's 1, 2, 3. Let's see what that does it. Oh, here we go. I got it.
Nice.
Let's
I can't wait to see this on my screen.
It's amazing.
You're literally in a rickshaw.
Basically.
It's a rickshaw with a fucking DFS sofa in it.
This is fine.
Oh, we have achieved a new dimension of crazy.
Yeah. It's even got like the bike sound effect as well.
Holy shit, my legs are tired. Get me back in a cab.
He looks tired when he leans forward and all.
Alright, apparently the offspring is over and it has now gone to Alien Ant Farm. I'm okay with that. Alien Ant Farm's alright.
Yeah. I did that one Michael Jackson cover that everyone knows and that's about it.
Yeah, that's obviously the most popular one, but I like movies especially. That's one of their best ones, I reckon. Yeah, what else is coming up? We've got some Americana, there's some Bowling for Soup.
Oh, good shit.
That would be good if we get to that. I love me some Bowling for Soup. One of the, it's one of the several bands I've actually seen live.
Oh,
They were very entertaining. They opened one of their songs where this is a song about that one time my girlfriend hit me in the face with a shovel. It was a good fun. It was a good laugh. I also got to see Newfound Glory, Green Day, and like there's a bunch of other bands as well. But those are like the main like American rock bands that I got the chance to watch live.
Come on now, do it.
But you know, this seems like a pretty decent arrangement. I mean, you can still lie down if it all becomes a bit too much for you.
That's about right.
Imagine him sauntering up to the Tour de France.
That's running, honey.
Like, if you went this fast on a bike, like, holy shit. Who would need steroids at that point?
yeah. And the fact that I'm still jumping over other cars and shit on it. Like, that's one thing I will say that they brought in Crazy Taxi 2. Like, there's a car jump mechanic where if you press Y, it flings the car in the air. Which is
like the lowriders.
sort of, yeah.
That's pretty neat. It's like, you can see he's already out of breath. It's like, it's okay.
Please.
I've only got another 7.5 minutes of this to go.
Oh shit, I think I need to go up here, yep. There we go.
And underwater no less as well.
Yeah. God, that must be some fucking work on your legs, wasn't it?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's fine, we can breathe underwater, don't ask any questions.
Yes, this is putting the pedal to the metal in a completely different sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got another jump.
Be more careful.
Remember folks, we are raising money for Child's Play, so if you want to get any more donations in during this run, we've got just under 7 minutes left so far, right now.
Yeah, and the nights will be closing off at that point, don't forget. So if you have any last minute donations to go towards nights, now is the time to do so.
Yeah, I think the sing-song ones will probably be towards the end, but if you want to pick which graphical style Tanner uses, you want to get that in quick.
Apparently Richie is at work, but he says if the whatever song gets met, we'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it will be done at one point or another. Otherwise, well, apparently I do a good Crazy Taxi guy, so who knows? Maybe I could do the night scene like that. Anytime, any place, I can just see your crazy thing.
I wasn't ready for that.
I am incredibly unpredictable.
Yeah, don't fucking
It is
play.
probably my one most redeeming feature.
Yo, thanks.
That was a really damn solid turn, by the way. I just caught that on the stream.
Yeah. See, my redeeming quality is that I'm usually around, and that's about it.
We can always rely on you to post the anime shit.
Of course, I think I'm going the wrong way, but fuck it, I'll find a solution. Oh, maybe not.
So yeah, it's worth noting, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you actually get combos, where it shows you like the money, it's not that the money is accumulating, it actually adds whatever amount on there is. So if you get like a really big combo, each car weave that you end up doing will eventually get you like 25 bucks a piece.
Yeah, so like the idea is like swerving out as much as you can without actually touching. Because like, obviously when you collide, it then completely kills all your like combo that you built up.
Yep, and that is how you get like the really big scores. I'm pretty sure like there's a class above S license.
Maybe. If there is, I haven't got it.
You need over 10k, I believe, for it.
Oh right, yeah.
It's just from what I remember, because I believe Max played Crazy Taxi at one point, and I may have watched it, and he is rather good at the game. I think at one point he got like 20k in arcade mode. It was rather insane. The guy has Crazy Taxi chops.
Yeah.
Come on now, do it.
Oh, Tanner throwing the shade. Flame's redeeming quality is having someone to dunk on for liking bad anime, because my taste is good.
Given Tanner has slandered Oriyumo before, I think his taste is bad.
Yo, thanks.
I get you there in no time.
what you're doing. Take me to the police station.
Don't freak out on me.
I can understand why that particular guy needed to go to Fila.
Yeah, some of them do look like that kind of person.
It's like, what warehouse did you stumble out of to get that combination of clothing?
Whereas I, a fashion god wearing a fucking Sonic shirt right now, am absolutely in a position to criticise others.
Well, that's okay, they can't see you.
Yeah.
And you're not really in the position where you can see, so as long as you're the only one around, who gives a shit?
Well, yeah.
You can dress like a slob in private if you want, but, you know, if you bring that out in public, expect someone to turn around and say, hey! Why you gotta dress like that, bro?
Yeah.
Those ain't Nikes!
Yeah. Yeah, Love Live is good shit, AJ. Alright, where is people? Where are people? Here's people. There we go.
You know what you're doing.
I do like the fact that you still have the taxi sign on the actual rickshaw.
Yeah.
Move it.
Fuck. It's the shortcut.
That's fine. You've got 2.5 minutes to try and beat the score. I think you managed 5k. Well, like you're already like matching your highest score, I think. So if you can get to 6k, I think that'll be a good one to end off on.
Yeah.
Especially on the bike.
Yeah. I ain't gonna make this guy's thing, so fuck it, let's find someone else. Oh my god, the animation for reversing the bike.
There's no brake or reverse lights either. Do you have to make the sound effects yourself then? It's just like you guy going.
Oh my god. Hey, I have class. You don't have to, you know, silence to that.
Oh no, I'm not denying it, but I'm not exactly confirming it either, because you have slipped on occasion.
I'm going the long way, which I probably shouldn't have done. Oh well.
Come on now, do it.
Well, I kind of hope we'll see like a resurgence in arcade racing games sooner or later. I mean, obviously we've got Daytona USA 3 on the way, and that was good, like a good start. Maybe Sega will think, ooh, we could do like another Crazy Taxi game. That would be amazing.
Like, most recent arcade racer that I've played was Slipstream, the indie game on Steam, which is really fucking good. But other than that, I ain't really seen that much coming recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really I mean, obviously indie developers are good for sort of picking up the slack, but I mean, we need more arcade races. I mean, obviously we want that F-Zero, like we have done for the past 90 billion years or however long it's been since F-Zero GX came out.
Yeah.
Yo,
Okay, I beat 6k.
Ah, nice. Well done. Oh, Daytona US3 apparently is already out. Is that like just in the arcade cabinets, or is there actually a console version on the way?
make a right.
It's nice at the time where if you're last passenger and the game time you have left match perfectly.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna make this one, if only because fuck it, there's a train. Yeah, I've missed it. Oh well.
Oh well.
Let's just keep. Yeah.
You got the 6K and you showed off the pedal bike, so
There we go.
it was
Let's
a good
stop
one
here.
to close off on.
So yeah, is Tanner ready to take over?
I will give him a message. Hold on. We are just about done here.
Just check that he's ready to go and that he's got co-com as well.
Yeah, I should be co-comming with him for this one,
Oh, nice one, mate.
seeing as Richie's at work.
Mhm.
I would have liked to have practiced more Dynamite Heady, but what can you do?
Yeah, sometimes the needs must. So, have we got the confirmation that he's good to go?
I literally just sent the message, and he is typing. He's ready.
Okie doke. Well, thank you very much for stopping by for some crazy taxi. Hope we can continue to raise some crazy money all day. Volk, do you want to sign us off in the voice?
Hey, thanks a lot for joining us for Crazy Taxi. We'll see you at night. Signing off.
Good stuff. Goodbye for now, folks.